And one of the things that I've noticed from teaching yoga for so long, and one of the pitfalls of any sort of practice, not just yoga, but any sort of spiritual practice, is that if you're not careful to practice enough, the practice itself, rather, will become the obstacle. Meaning that I've seen so many people that walk into these yoga spaces, right? And they tell me, wow, this is myself included, that's where my practice started. I went to yoga, I was doing 3-4 yoga classes a day, going every single day, just like a madman in these studios. And after doing this for years, I was still not happy. I was still not fulfilled. I still had this baseline of anxiety and stress and all these things, despite all the practicing of yoga. And that is because, as yoga is typically taught in the West, we bypass those two limbs. We go straight into the third limb, asana. And we fool ourselves into thinking that we can have some sort of realization without the introspection. So I had a teacher, Dr. Raoji, and
Rowdy?
Dr. Rao.
Rao, oh.
I don't remember his last name, but I will definitely send that to you and so we can add it to the show notes. But this man is incredible. He came to do a lecture at Loyola Marymount University for the Yoga Studies graduate program. And I had an opportunity to meet him and talk to him for a bit. And he talked about the practice of yoga, specifically the 8 limbs. It's a practice that goes from the external to the internal, right? So we start with these practices on how we relate to ourselves and to other people. We go into physical postures of yoga, then we get into the breath, and then we get into the rest of the limbs. But as we go further in. So if we're bypassing the aspects of ourselves that lead us to understand, why are we making choices? Why do I want to grab a burger? Why do I feel like I need to have eggs with every meal? Why do I feel like I need to have cheese with everything that I order? Where does that come from? Where was that idea? Was that idea mine? Or was that idea implanted into my mind? And then same thing with the practice of yoga and the practice of anything. Why do I want to do this? Why am I following this path? Why am I listening to this teacher and not this other teacher? And all of it always goes back to this idea that we are already enlightened. We are already self-actualized. We're already self-aware. But most of us live under the illusion that we're not. We live under, like your friend that says that, oh, Arjun, I just have no time. I have no time for myself. I'm so busy with other things. But you're never in a state where you don't have time for yourself, because to exist is to be in time, to be time itself, where like you're just making choices that seem like they're for someone else, but we're always just consciousness. We're always just experiencing the reality of our life. And if there is no awareness, then the subconscious mind is dictating where does our attention go and where does our effort go. So in Buddhism, it is taught right mindset, right view, right effort. These things are very important, but you can only discover that through sitting and observing the mechanisms behind the decision making, the reasons why we think the way that we do. Why do I feel this way? What does this meal make me feel like inside truly? And again, we can only see that if we create the space for us to like actually observe the self. My name is Gabriel. I am a yoga instructor, and if you want to learn more about yoga and mindfulness, and if you want to know the ways in which both of these practices can improve your life, follow me at endofsuffering.ai. Send me a message to book a private call now.
For sure.
Let's go swim with some sharks whenever we get a chance.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, thank you so much, Gabe. I appreciate you coming on this channel, and yeah, hope to see you soon.
Yeah.